It's a very, very early morning here talking about the Australian Grand Prix, and that, my friends, is why the Australian Grand Prix should kick off the season every year. It was always Australia. I mean, I don't mind Bahrain, but to me, it's always going to be Australia, in my opinion, that's viewed as the season opener. But let's talk about it. Rain, dry. It was wet to dry, back to wet. Crashes, drama, loads of stuff, but we had Isaac Hadjar crashing on the way to the grid. We had the race start. Max managed to get past Piastri. Duhan then crashed on the first lap, brought out the safety car. Carlos Sainz then crashed under the safety car. Then after that, essentially, I mean, you did have like what 28 laps of. I don't want to say nothing because there was a lot of battling. Max made a mistake. Piastri got back through. Piastri was pushing Lando Norris. McLaren whipping out team orders. Completely disagree with that. We had Hamilton doing a bit of greeting over the radio. And then Fernando Alonso sticks it in the wall. Surprise, because it would have been a good opportunity for Alonso today. But I tell you what, I think Alonso had to take one for the team because if he doesn't crash, then I don't think we get the drama of what happened around like lap 45, 46, 47 with the rain coming back down. But Alonso crashing made everyone go to slicks, apart from Haas. And then as soon as the safety car decided to come in, Haas decided to pit for the inters onto the slicks, which then put them like over a minute behind everyone else. And then lo and behold, like 1 or 2 laps later, on an already damp enough track, it pissed down. I mean, I'm not saying Haas would have got a 1-2 here, right? Because there was a decent amount of running at the end where cars could have overtook them. But I think Haas have thrown away like maybe a potential double top six. And considering they look like the worst car on the grid, I mean, absolutely mental, absolutely mental. But yeah, what happens, folks? We knew that the rain was coming. And about 2 laps after the restart, both McLarens go off. Piastri can't save it. Norris does. Piastri drops to the back of the grid. Norris then decides to pit alongside the likes of George Russell, Albon, Antonelli, Stroll, and Hulkenberg. We see the likes of Gasly, Shinoda, Leclerc, Hamilton. These four guys on slicks battling in like wet conditions for second and third. You've got Verstappen, and I think this would just sets Verstappen above the rest, right? You had a track that was pretty much, I mean, it wasn't full wet, but it was inters, and he barely lost any time, right? On slicks compared to guys on inters, right? I mean, there was a real opportunity here for Max to end up like where the Ferraris ended up, or Shinoda, which was the lower end of the points, or not even in the points for some, and he's ended up finishing second. We then had it was a Ferrari 1-2 at one point, and then Norris got past both Ferraris. The safety car comes out because Gabriel Portello and Liam Lawson both crashed. Two separate incidents, but they both crashed nonetheless. And then Ferrari decided to pit. Correct decision, even though probably on the last lap it probably was dry enough for slicks again. You can't stay out for like 5 laps on slicks in a wet in an intermediate track. It's not going to happen. Piastri fought his way back through to get P9. Hamilton got overtook by Leclerc. And then Max pushed really hard at the end, almost got Lando Norris on the last lap. But your final order: Norris from Verstappen, from Russell, Alexander Albon P4 in the Williams, very good drive. Kimi Antonelli P5, great drive for P16. Then it was Lance Stroll, as my voice just completely and utterly goes. Nico Hulkenberg in the Sauber, man. Stroll and Hulkenberg 6th and 7th. I mean, those 6 points for Sauber right there. I mean, it outscores a point tally for last season, and it's probably guaranteed them at least ninth in the constructors. And that's what'll stick in Haas's craw today. Haas could have got a double points finish. They could have seen them like guaranteed like P8 or something. Obviously, it's a long season, but they'll be raging about it. Leclerc 8th, Piastri 9th, Hamilton 10th, Gasly 11th, Shinoda 12th, Ocon 13th, and Berman 14th. you know, there's really a scenario where Leclerc, Piastri, Hamilton, Gasly, or Shinoda could have won this race, and that's not even an exaggeration. It just depends on the amount of rain that came down. Piastri obviously could have won it on merit. Leclerc, Hamilton, Gasly, Shinoda, they could have won it if the rain eased off at a certain point, or if there was a bigger crash, or because they were all I mean, you had four guys, two Ferraris, an Alpine, and an RB battling for the lead, and honestly, folks, the race direction, whoever's in charge of the TV cameras this race needs to give their head a wobble because you missed out on so much. You have to watch the timing tower, man. It was pathetic, but what a way to start the season. I mean, it wasn't the greatest race of all time because there was like periods in it where it did feel a bit flat. But Jesus Christ, I mean, you can't complain. What a way to start the season. And is it going to be Lando against Max the whole season? Probably. But Max does what he does, picks up the bare minimum. Um, and, well, I'll say the bare minimum, the bare maximum, but also the minimum that I think he'll need to challenge Lando. And, I mean, it's not title over for the likes of Ferrari or Oscar Piastri, but you feel like can't afford too many of that. And for Mercedes, good for them. So yeah, McLaren lead for Mercedes in the constructors, and then Sauber's leading Ferrari, and so's Aston Martin. Who in the hell would have predicted that? Anyway, Fog Racing signing it down under. What a race! There'll be more fallout, I'm sure. Driver ratings, all that stuff. But until next time, peace.